Let's talk about atheists. Over the years, I've heard atheists argue we don't need God or the Bible or anything to teach us morality. We know morality naturally because we have empathy. So, the thing is, empathy doesn't actually have a moral compass on it. Empathy just means the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. That could be bad things, that could be good things. It doesn't actually. There's nothing that goes to leaning towards understanding and sharing the feelings of something bad that's not actual empathy. It's still empathy. It's a bad thing or it's a good thing. Here's an example. There's a person walking down the streets. In his back pocket he has a wad of $100 bills. Someone sees this wad of $100 bills, decides, I'm going to go steal it. Now they go to court. The guy gets busted, takes him to court. The judge has to decide, is this man who stole the money guilty or innocent? Now we're gonna use what the atheists say for this case. Okay, the atheists say you learn morality through empathy, so this case is now going to be based around empathy because morality is what really matters for a society, right? We need a good moral structure in our society to have a good functioning society. So now we're going to use the atheist morality here, empathy. The judge has to decide, is this person guilty or innocent? So they find out that this guy, he's a poor person who's now homeless. He has a wife and 3 kids. And the person he stole the money from happens to be a billionaire who doesn't need this money whatsoever. This money is completely insignificant. He just wants to know that he can walk around the streets and not get a wad of his money get taken out of his back pocket because he made a mistake and accidentally put the money in his back pocket, let's say. Whatever the reason is. He wants to know that he can be secure from people not stealing from him. Who should we have more empathy for, though? Like, if we're going to go with empathy, do we go for the poor homeless person with the wife and kids, or the rich guy? I think based off this case scenario, I mean, the guy has 3 kids. Those 3 kids are going to suffer. They're starving, whatever it is. They need a home. They have nothing. Let him keep the money. Let him have the money. In fact, this idea should go to all poor people. We should have the police go take all these poor people, all these homeless people, whatever, and let them into rich people's homes and take whatever little bit of money they can get from them. Make a specific amount, deciding you get to have this amount of money from this guy. This guy is a billionaire. He has this amount of money. You can take, let's say, 5% of that money, because what's 5% of that money to the billionaire, right? He doesn't really need it. The other people need it. It doesn't matter. I mean, we're using empathy here to decide morality. Over the years, I've heard this argument from atheists, and I've never heard anyone actually counter it and actually win the argument with an atheist, and I think that's a little bit nuts. I think we should all understand empathy is not a lead to morality. It doesn't have a moral compass on it. There's no moral compass on empathy that tells you this is good and this is bad. That's not a thing. People that believe moral good things believe that these are good things. A lot of times, you could say it's from the Bible or wherever it's from. I could just tell you this: it is not from empathy. And if you're going to argue that you don't need God or the Bible to know that these things are wrong, so my question remains: how do you know what these things are actually wrong? Why are these things actually wrong? In fact, as people argue today that look at all these rich people, they have more than enough money. Tax them the high taxes, let them pay more taxes, and the poor people less. And also the people that are paying the more taxes, that is going to actual social programs that actually help to pay for the poor people's food. So they're actually kind of directly, kind of indirectly doing the same idea as this poor guy with the rich guy, except through the government, and saying it's okay that we're going to allow them to take the money. It's all really parallel from each other. And if stealing is immoral, if we're going to hold the ground of what morality is, under morality that we know, stealing is immoral. If we're going to make up excuses to steal, then we're breaking the foundations of our society, the moral foundations. And this you can actually do through the atheist argument for morality, that morality is learned through empathy. And that's what I got to say about morality here, from what I've learned from atheists about morality, how we understand morality.